What's up, you mad dogs? Today, we're taking a bit of a dive into the rankings, and I wanted to give you a sequel to a video that I made a few weeks back where I gave you my input on some prospects that are outside the rankings, which I think are going to make their way into the top 10 of their retrospective divisions by the end of next year. And I thought, what better time to, dive into the rankings, pick a couple fighters from each division that I think it's time to start fading. They're a bit over the hill at the end of their day. The title run's over. No more title runs. Time for retirement. Time for PFL. Something like that. People that they're done, They're out of the rankings. They're going to be out of the rankings. And we're going to go through from the flyweight division all the way up to the heavyweight division. I'm going to give you one fighter from each one. I think they're done and dusted, all right? Well, let's get right into it. We're looking at the flyweight division first because that's where we ended the last video. Let's look at Amir Albazi, the Prince. Now, I used to hate on this dude a bit, and I don't so much anymore. I kind of actually feel a bit bad for him because he's got a history of some health issues, back surgeries, neck surgeries. I think he had some heart problems at one time. There's been a bit of inactivity over the last 3-4 years, and a lot of that is due to the health problems. So I just want to start this segment by saying that I do feel bad for the dude, and I don't hate on him so much as I used to. I had a bit of a bad taste in my mouth since the Kai Kara-France fight. I just didn't like the way he looked, and I didn't like that he robbed Kai Kara-France. I was a good fan of Kai Kara-France at the time, so I did have a bit of a shit taste in my mouth about this dude, but it needs to be said, he's dealt with some seriously troubling life events that it's you really wouldn't wish upon anyone. So it does suck to see, but I don't think he belongs here in the top 15. I don't think he belongs in the top 10, top 15. I feel like everyone in the top 5 would fuck him up. Kyoji Horiguchi just fucked him up. Before that, he lost to Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno kind of made light work of him. I feel like that was last year. It might have been the year before. But like I said, man, a lot of inactivity. And his last 2 fights, he's on a 2-fight losing streak now. And before that was the controversial win over Kai Kara-France. Now, he's all right. He is all right, but I feel like he kind of isn't meant to be here. That Kai Kara-France win was really what put him up into the rankings initially, and that shouldn't have been a win. So since that, he's not looked good. Obviously, like I mentioned, we've got the health issues and all that. So you can maybe put a bit of a testament to that. But just with what he's brought to the table, I just don't think he's meant to be here in the top 10 of the flyweight division, where we have some insanely talented fighters that can really do it all. The flyweight division, they're always bringing excitement. The technicality of these flyweights is unreal, and the speed that they do it at, it's crazy. So I feel like this dude, he's just not meant to be here. He's just not meant to be here. Shouldn't have been here in the first place. But he made his way up there somehow, and yeah, I think it's time to say that he's on his way down. Coming off that fucking loss to Kyoji Horiguchi, where he absolutely got dog walked, Absolutely got dog walked. That's going to take a lot out of your confidence after coming in after some time off. I mean, shit. Amir Albazi, it's time to fade him, boys, all right? We're going to move on to the Bantamweight division. Hear me out. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. This one's crazy. I didn't want to go too easy on all these predictions. I didn't want to pick number 9 on a 4-fight losing streak for every single one of these weight divisions, because that would just be too easy, We don't want to make it too easy for us, okay? But I feel like this one's a bit of a crafty pick. Ayman Zahabi, 7 or 8 fight win streak, something like that. Coming off of the win over Chito Vera, I believe was his last win. Before that, had a really close fight with Jose Aldo, where Jose Aldo almost had him out of there at the start of that 3rd round. Now, he's crafty. He's crafty and he's not bad. He isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like this division, it's a fucking shark pool, you know? The top 5 of this division, I feel like everyone in the top 5 of this division, I think he's number 6. I think they all stomp him. Sean O'Malley, he's going to knock him out on the White House lawn. It's said and it's done, okay? It's already written in history and it hasn't even happened yet, okay? Sean O'Malley's going to knock him out on the White House lawn. And when that happens, I feel like he's probably going to get matchups of doom. There's so many prospects coming up in the fucking bantamweight division that I just don't see him beating. I feel like there's so many dangerous fighters, and the lack of danger that this dude brings. He's got a good pressure heavy style, high output, not a whole lot of power, but he can put it on you and he can get gritty. And he can bite down on the mouthpiece and swing for it. So he can put on an exciting fight. I don't want to hate on him too much here, but I feel like the lack of danger that he brings, as opposed to some of the other people in this division, like a Peyton Talbot, like a Sean O'Malley, like a Song Yadong even. I mean, I just feel like the physicality, the lack of, I feel like that's where this dude lies. And I think after the loss to Sean O'Malley, which is going to happen, mark my fucking words, I think he's going to start getting serious matchups of doom. I think we might see him get mashed up with a Peyton Talbot. We might see him get mashed up with a fucking Elijah Smith after that. Something like that, you know? It's a lot of people coming up in this bantamweight division that really, I feel like stylistically, bad matchups for this guy. So that's my reasoning for picking him for the bantamweight division. And it was a bit of a tough division. It's a pretty good division. So yeah, no. Moving on to the featherweight division. I mean, it was a bit tough. This was a bit tough picking someone for the featherweight division. But this is who I've gone with. And now he's up there. I think he's like 4th in the rankings at the moment. But he's fighting once every 2 years. He hasn't fought for fucking ages. I think his last fight was with Pitbull. It was either with Pitbull or Ortega. I feel like it was his last fight was with Pitbull, was on his debut. And it feels like he's just been sitting around waiting for a fucking title shot ever since that. I mean, yeah, I really got to be careful what I say here. I don't want to get too fucking nasty. But this dude pisses me the fuck off. The way he's sitting around, doing fucking nothing. Talking about, I want a title shot this, I want a title shot that. Well, take a fight, cunt. Take a fight. You know? Take a fucking fight, bro. And that will get you started on it. This pick isn't just personal. Don't get me wrong. This might seem a bit personal. And I know there's a lot of people out here thinking the same thing about this guy. Take a fucking fight, bro. But I feel like what he brings to the table, it's not all that, you know? I feel like with the inactivity, UFC's not going to be wanting to give him the most ideal matchups. I feel like they're going to be looking to match him up with, you know, your Gene Silva, you fucking Kevin Vallejos, real dangerous dudes, you know? And don't get me wrong, maybe he could pull it off against some of those dudes, but because he is very dangerous. He is very dangerous. And he's given him, the fucking annoying thing about this dude, is he is exciting to watch. He is exciting to watch. I used to be keen on this dude's fights because he's fucking fun to watch, and he throws up some unorthodox shit, like throws crazy kicks. His kicks are insane. He is a very good fighter, but I just feel like with the inactivity, the mindset's probably it's not right, you know? I just feel like things aren't really lining up properly for this dude, and I think we're coming to a time with this inactivity where the UFC is going to start thinking, fuck this dude, you know? Although he is Mexican, which really does help him in instance for the UFC because they love their Mexicans. We know this. It's not a secret. It's very fucking obvious. So maybe Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe he gets the fucking easiest matchups ever. Maybe they give him Leroy Murphy next or something like that. I maybe could actually see that fight happening. You never know. But I just feel like, man, it is tough. This was a tough division to pick. But that inactivity really stands out to me. And I feel like UFC, they don't want that. They want fighters to be accepting fights. They want fighters to be fighting actively. They need to offer a certain amount of fights every year. And this dude hasn't fought for 2 years. So he's got to be turning some shit down, I feel like. It's a guarantee. And the UFC never likes that. So I feel like what's around this corner for this dude, the way he's been going, is not going to be very good things, okay? I think we're going to start seeing him make his way out of the rankings. And again, we've got some prospects coming up in the division that I think could probably give this dude some problems. So that's why I'm going to go with Yair Rodriguez for the featherweight division. Moving on to the lightweight division, I feel like this one may be a little bit obvious, but I think it's time we had this conversation, boys. I think it's time we had this conversation. Dan Hooker. He's on his way down, coming off the loss to BSD. Now, don't get me wrong. Armin, BSD, top of the division. Gonna be giving fucking problems to everyone, okay? Very good fighters. Nothing to look down on. But with what Dan Hooker has brought to the table recently, the lack of durability, even though he took a beating for fucking like a whole round from BSD in that second round, it is hard to kind of put a knock on Dan Hooker's durability when you see stuff like that, but he doesn't take damage too well these days. He wears the damage a lot on his face. He opens up cuts very easily. I mean, just where he's at in his career at his current age, I think he's 36 now. I mean, he's up there with... There's just a few of these fighters, man. It fucking sucks, bro. It fucking sucks because I love Dan Hooker. It does suck to see and say this on a fucking video about one of my... this fucking... I've been watching this guy for fucking years, bro. He's always brought us mad fun fights to watch. So it does suck to sit here and say this, but I just think with what Dan Hooker's bringing to the table these days, it's not enough for the lightweight division to hang in that top 10 rankings, I just feel like, especially with the talent coming up in the division, even though the Unks these days are really showing out with a good win from Renato Moicano recently, I feel like Moicano would beat Hooker at this point. Maybe we could see Hooker fucking starch him in the first round because Renato can be a bit chinny, but he's also very fucking crafty, and he just crafted it up against a very dangerous Chris Duncan. And, I feel like most of the matchups that you look at here that Dan Hooker can now fight in, the people that he hasn't fought yet, I feel like they're pretty tough matchups, and it just doesn't look good moving forward for Dan Hooker. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is to say and admit, I think it is what it is, It is what it is. So I'll leave it at that, man. We'll move on to the welterweight division. I'm not washed, bruv. I'm not fucking washed, bruv. Leon Edwards, bruh. He's done. He's done and dusted, all right? It's time to fade him. He's on the other side of the hill. He's on the way down, okay? Although he might have a little bit of a more favorable matchup next. It sounds like maybe they're trying to match him up with Daniel Rodriguez, which I think is actually a fight that he can win. When I was putting this video together originally, that fight wasn't made. So now with that, I kind of think back on this and go, well, maybe not. Maybe not. But as far as everyone else in that top 15 of the welterweight division, other than Daniel Rodriguez, I don't think Leon Edwards beats him, I feel like he could win this next fight against D-Rod. I feel like D-Rod could bring him some problems. Even though I don't think D-Rod is all that. I still think D-Rod, at this point of Leon Edwards' career, can bring him some issues. And that's why I look at this and I go, well, if you put him up against anyone else in this division, he's fucking dusted, JDM would dust him up. Carlos Prates just dusted him up. Coming off before that, it was a loss to Bilal Muhammad. I mean, no, it was a loss to Sean Brady, and then the loss to Bilal Muhammad. And Sean Brady's not all that himself. I mean, a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. It was actually someone I was considering for this segment, but I think he's a little bit too good to be talking about. He's going to be falling out of the rankings right now. His wrestling is way too good. So that's why I had to go with Leon Edwards here. But even Sean Brady himself, man, like, can't really hang that well on the feet. But when he gets it to the ground, man, it's fucking done. And that's what he did to Leon Edwards. And Carlos Prates turned Leon Edwards into a grappler in their last fight. Grappled him out for the first round before and eventually getting fucking starched in the second with a big 1-2. Leon Mumble Mouth Edwards, I think your time is here. It is fucking time to get out of the rankings, lad. I mean, I don't know. He could win this D-Rod fight. He could, but after that, I think it's definitely all downhill from that point. All right. And D-Rod maybe could beat him. Maybe. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll leave it at that, boys. We're going to move on to the middleweight division, and this one really fucking hurts my soul. I fucking hate this. Israel Adesanya. This guy is one of the reasons why I am such a big fan of this sport these days. Before Israel Adesanya came into the UFC and started making his run to the title, I was a very, very casual fan at that point. Come in to watch a Conor McGregor fight card. You know, I was a little bit late to the game, all right? I was a little bit late to the game, but I eventually found this shit. And Izzy is one of the fucking main people that really, really kind of pulled me into being a really big fan of this sport. And probably a fucking good reason of why I'm here recording videos today, okay? So, this fucking hurts, bro. This hurts, bro. I thought he would beat Joe Pyfer, and he was looking good against him too. I know I said that I wouldn't pick everyone. I wouldn't be picking number 9th ranked on a 4-fight losing streak for every division. But this one stood out as a little bit too obvious not to take for me. Israel Adesanya, man, is just, it's the end of his time. Okay, it's the end of his time of looking elite. People have figured out his game. They've figured out what to do to get to him. His style just doesn't work like it used to, you know? It fucking hurts, bro. It fucking hurts, man. It hurts because I fucking love Izzy, bro. I fucking love him. This really fucking pains me, this segment, all right? I don't want to spend too long on it. I feel like this one's pretty obvious. I don't think there's too much I need to say about this one, other than people have really figured out his style. They've figured out the kind of game plan to bring in to fight Israel Adesanya now. And it sucks. It is painful to see, but I think he's on his way out of the rankings. I really, please, for the fucking love of God, please do not match this guy up with Gregory Rodriguez. I cannot watch that. I cannot watch that fight. I do not want to watch that, okay? Gregory Rodriguez will probably fucking slime him out horrifically. You'd think Izzy would just piece him up, keep on the back foot in that, but I don't know today. I don't know anymore, you know? I fucking don't, and it sucks, bro. It sucks. Anyways, we're going to move on. Let's move on to the light heavyweight division. Bro, this guy's footwork, it's always stood out to me as something that it's a big red flag when it comes to being in the UFC and you're moving like that on your feet. You're walking like a bit of a baby giraffe at times, like you're standing on Legos. Jamal Hill, bro. Jamal Hill. Now, like I said before, I put this video together a few weeks back, and before the Yuri Prochazka loss. Now, before I started recording today, I was starting to think maybe I'll swap this one out to Yuri Prochazka, because that's a bit of a worry now too. But he beat Jamal Hill. And he's beat everyone else in the top of that division. So I think it's too early to be saying that, even though the chin for Yuri is a big worry. I think it's a little bit too early to be bringing his name into this conversation. Whereas Jamal Hill, I feel like technically what he brings to the table, I'm so shocked that he was a champ. You know? Very good power, a little bit awkward with his striking. When he puts it on you, he can put you out. He can put your lights out like nothing. Don't get me wrong. Fucking super powerful, super dangerous in the hands. But the technical ability for a striker to be moving like that on your feet, and with the way the division is starting to evolve, you got like, I can't even think of anyone off the top right now, but look, the light heavyweight division is starting to come up, just like the heavyweight division is starting to evolve, you know? It's starting to evolve a bit. And I feel like we're at the point now where it's a lot of dangerous dudes where technically they should really put a beating on Jamal Hill. We've thought that in the past. We've thought that in the past, and he's proved us wrong before, so maybe he'll do it again. But I feel like at this point now, he's on a couple of losses in a row. The confidence probably not all going to be there. He doesn't have that championship mentality no more. There's no doubt about that. So I feel like with all those factors coming into play, I think we can start seeing a bit of a downhill fall for Jamal Hill, you know? Yeah, it's just his footwork. That's what stands out the most to me, you know? It's just, he's walking over his toes, walking over his feet. Awkward fucking balance, you know? I don't know what else to say about him, man. I don't know. The last two weight classes here, a little bit tough to kind of come to a final decision on, because, look, you can have people hanging around in these fucking rankings for ages when they really probably shouldn't be there, especially in like the light heavyweight and the heavyweight division, especially. The heavyweight division was very fucking hard, because I feel like the top 10's been the top 10 forever. But now we've got some decent prospects coming up, so hopefully this kind of shit will come a little bit easier soon for those divisions. But yeah, Jamal Hill, man, I feel like he's pretty much done. I don't think there's any more title runs coming out of Jamal Hill. And I feel like there's a lot of technical matchups that are going to be bad for him on the horizon. So that's why I've gone with Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight division. Moving on to the last one, heavyweight division. This was tough, man. This was fucking tough, because this dude's coming off a win. This dude is coming off of a win over Ante Delija. And he's been around, bro. He's been around. So this was really fucking tough to kind of decide for me. Initially, when I was making this video, I was considering Curtis Blades, because that was before UFC 327. But we're past that now, and Curtis Blades is now lost. Which, a missed opportunity on my part, is what it is. So I had to pick someone else. I think Curtis Blades is still in the top 10, but, you know, I feel like that might have been a little bit too obvious at this point. Sergey Spivak, he can put a good fight on, but for the most part, even though he looked good on the feet against Ante Delija, I feel like most of the matchups in this division ends with him getting knocked out, you know? I feel like it is so tough, though, in the heavyweight division with how it is now. But we do have some really good prospects on the rise. You got your Volta Walkers, your Mario Pintos, your Brando Pericic, who's fighting this weekend. He is who I had to break his way into the top 10. So I think he's going to win this weekend against Shamil the Blob Gaziev. And I feel like we're going to start seeing some of these fucking new gen heavyweights make their way into the top 10. And I think we're going to start seeing guys like this. Maybe a Derek Lewis fall out of the rankings, although he's got this fucking golden egg thing where he just stays in there forever somehow. Maybe we'll see fucking Taito Ivasa make his way back in there after a win this weekend. You never know with the heavyweight division. It's a funny old division, but Sergey Spivak, that's who I'm going to go with. We are going to see some heavyweight prospects making their way into the rankings very, very soon. I feel like once Gable Stevenson gets in here, they're going to give him some real fucking good matchups for him. Like some ideal matchups for a Gable Stevenson. And yeah. That's pretty much it, man. That's where I'm going to end the video at. Sergey Spivak, Jamal Hill, Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Yair Rodriguez, Ayman Zahavi, Amir Albazi. Some of those hurt to say, but the names I've just listed, boys, they ain't going to win their next fight. Leon Edwards, I missed one. He might win his next fight. But I think it's really time to fade these fighters, okay, guys? Don't be putting money on them in their next fight. Maybe do it. Maybe go against me and see what happens. You'll probably lose your fucking money, all right, boys? Anyways, that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you got to this point of the video, I appreciate you very fucking much. Drop a like and a sub if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be my predictions for this week's UFC Perth card, which I am fucking pumped for, boys. I am pumped for the fights this weekend. Let's fucking go. I wish I was going, though. Goodbye.